Laughing with cancer. Oh, wait, that's not how we start this show now, is it? I don't think so. Let's do this, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4. Laughing with cancer. Let's live a life, not just survive. Laughing with cancer. If you're not laughing, life will pass you by. Welcome once again to Laughing with Cancer. I'm your host, Elvis Rico, and this is show number 6. 6. Seis. Cinco, seis, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's right. Seis. I'm a generic Mexican. I can't help it. I can't speak a lick of Spanish. Maybe a little bit. I could say hi or hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien? ¿Y tú? I don't know. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. I hope you guys celebrated and nobody blew themselves up doing something crazy, right? USA! 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 That's right. The great red, white, and blue. I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July. We had a mellow one. Just ate some ribs and watched some fireworks and then watched a movie. Just Jules and I. Caitlin's off with her grandmother for the summer, like she normally does in New Mexico. So I hope she had a wonderful 4th of July. Not only is July, the 4th of July, our Independence Month, right? Independence Day. But it's also Skin Cancer Awareness Month. So you got to be aware of that. Make sure you have your sunscreen on. Watch out for those UVs. It's Bladder Cancer Awareness Month. So, if you have trouble there peeing, better get that checked out. It is Bladder Cancer Awareness Month and Sarcoma Cancer Awareness Month. Those are the 3 that we need to be aware of. So wear your sunscreen, make sure you can pee, and sarcoma. Now, sarcoma cancer, not too many people know about sarcoma cancer. I didn't know much about sarcoma cancer myself, but it has to do with the bones and the soft tissue. But those are the cancers we need to be aware of, and I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July like everybody else did. And like I said, nobody blew themselves up. I want to talk about this a walk that we're going to be doing for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society in November 7th. November 7th, it's called Light the Night Walk. And we're going to be raising some money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society to help find a cure for us that have leukemia or lymphoma. And hopefully raise enough money. I have on my website, I have a link to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I actually have 2 links. I have another link called GoFundMe, and that's another link that you can donate. You can either donate money to for the cause, or you can join the team and raise money as part of the team of Laughing with Cancer team. Either way, I welcome you all to that. We got that November 7th. And November 15th, we have a 5K race going on. It's an obstacle race called the Rock Race, and that's the 15th of November. So November is going to be a pretty busy month. So let's all pull it together and raise some money for leukemia, lymphoma, and then let's go have some fun on the 15th and do a 5K rock race, right? They got obstacles, they got all kinds of stuff. They got the wrecking ball where they knock you around, big old slides, big old bouncy things you jump across of, a little rope you swing off and try not to hang yourself. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like fun and it looks like fun. If you go to my website, I think I have a thing on there you can click to check that out and check out the rock race. And just so you guys know, the rock race, the 5K race, is it's not for raising money for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. It's just for fun, kind of just for exercise, and just kind of take your family out and have a little bit of fun. Try not to get knocked around a bit by that wrecking ball. But as far as today's show, what is today's show about? Well, let's see. Let's talk about stress, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things stress can be. Let's talk about stress. Isn't that how the song goes? I think that's how the song goes. I'm pretty sure that's how the song goes. Something like that, right? I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. Others of you are going, what the heck is he singing about? Yes, today's subject on today's show is going to be about stress. And how do we deal with stress? There are so many different ways people deal with stress. But when it comes to cancer, it's not just you that has to deal with that stress. It's your whole family that has to deal with that, you know. You see, a lot of times, you know, you're thinking, wow, man, I'm going through all this stuff. I'm going through all this and that, and I don't know what to do, and I'm stressing out, and I'm freaking out. And you don't realize that your family is right there with you going through the same thing, pretty much. I mean, they might not be feeling the symptoms that you're feeling or the fatigue and the pain that you're feeling, but they're feeling it emotionally. The emotional stress that you're going through, they're going through it as well. I got an email from a young lady the other day that said she was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's a single mom of two, a 8-year-old and a 15-year-old, and she was asking me if I had any advice for her. And you know, it's hard to give somebody advice who's recently diagnosed with any kind of cancer, because you're going to be going through that roller coaster of emotions. And it's just kind of hard to give somebody advice at the very beginning, because like before, like I've said, you go through those 5 stages of grief, and you just have to realize that your loved ones that are around you are going to be stressing along with you, because they don't know how to handle that, especially kids. Luckily, my twins were there for me during the hardest part of me dealing with my cancer and the depression part of my cancer. And so I just pretty much told her to find a support group, find somebody to talk to, find something to help you deal with it, and don't do it by yourself, and to love on your kids, because they're going to stress along with you. Like I said, it was just hard to give somebody advice when they ask you, what do you suggest I do? What do you think I should do? Everybody's different. That's all I can say. Everybody handles stress differently. Everybody does things differently. As far as stress, how did I handle it? What did I do to deal with stress? What did I do to handle my stress? Well, first off, we all deal with stress, be it our jobs, our family life, drama with friends, our relationship problems, our finances. Stress is there. A little bit of stress, though, is probably good for you. Keep you on your toes, bounce to the left, to the right, dodge, woo, woo. A little bit of stress. It's the excess that does the harm, So what can we do to manage that stress? What can we do to help bring that stress level down? One of the things I would say that I had to do was avoid unnecessary stress, right? We're going to have all the stress, but avoid the necessary stress. But how do we do that, you say? By accepting your stress. Now, you might think that makes no sense. Come on, Elvis. Avoid stress by accepting stress? Well, let's see. Accepting your stress just means, you're aware of what's causing your stress and how you can go about trying to avoid what causes it. But remember, avoiding what causes it doesn't mean ignoring it, but rather that you understand where it's coming from. So it doesn't mean just ignore and pretend like it doesn't happen. Don't stick your head in the sand and say, okay, I just don't want to talk about that. I just don't want to do that. Nah, accept it. Make that stress yours, but know that it's there and know that you can avoid it if you try, right? If you want to get rid of it. Sometimes a stressful situation is just a matter of perspective. Don't focus on the negative and the problem that's causing the anxiety. Concentrate on the positive. Now, I know it's easier said than done, especially if you have cancer, but you can find positivity in your problem. You can find positivity in your cancer. It'll be hard to find it, but believe me, you will find positivity in any situation. So what is it that we need to take our minds away from the stress? Or as some would say, keep you in the moment. When I say keep you in the moment, I'm talking about not what has happened or what will happen, but rather what's going on right then and there, what you can control right at that moment. It can be a list of things, man. It can be tons of things. But what at that moment in time can you do to take your mind away from everything else that's stressing you out? That's just making your mind go crazy, right? You got things that want to make your mind explode. You need to just stop, take a deep breath, And I don't know, find a hobby, find something that you love to do, you know, something you haven't done in a long time. When was the last time you built a model? You remember when you used to build models when you were a kid? You know, the car models or the plane models. I myself love doing Star Trek models. I admit it, I'm a Trekkie. Yep, I love Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff like that, but I remember building models when I was a kid. I would forget about everything else going on at that time. I would forget about school. I'd forget about my girlfriend, or I'd forget about the girl I wanted to be my girlfriend. I'd forget about my chores. Heck, man, sometimes I would even forget I had plans with my buddies to hang out because I was so engrossed in that model at that moment, at that particular moment. Everything else was like non-important completely. You know, I was lost in that model. So yeah, maybe something like that. Building a model can help you to relieve some of that stress. I used to build seashell art. I'd go to Mexico quite a bit, and we'd collect all kinds of seashells. I have tons of seashells. And for the longest time, that's what I was doing. I was making jewelry, you know, staying up for hours, just taking my mind off of it. I went all out completely. Bought a Dremel, got all kinds of little drills, and just sit there tiny, because you have to be, it's almost like building a model. You have to be very delicate with it and build drill little tiny holes to make the earrings, to make the necklaces and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I did. I did jewelry, made shell art. Another one is paintings. For a little while I was painting. And I didn't realize I could actually paint. I mean, my dad's an artist. He's an awesome artist. I have a giant Arnold Schwarzenegger painting that I keep behind me in the studio here. When Arnold was Conan the Barbarian, underneath it says strength. And he did that for me about 20 years ago for my cousin's gym, actually. And we put it up there. And that was before I even knew I had cancer or anything like that. So that painting has been a source of strength and something to look at, and when I'm feeling down or when I'm not feeling good and just wanting to sleep all day, I look at that painting and I just picture Arnold going, "What's wrong with you? Well, you got the cancer. Well, I don't want to hear about it. Time for you to get up and do something. Go to the gym, get a workout on. Come on, go outside and do something. Walk around the block, take the dogs for a walk. What's wrong with you? Get up, get down, get up, get down. What's wrong with you? Make up your mind." Yeah, but I know you guys are probably going, "This fool and his Arnold stuff, man." But I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. He's my man right there, Arnold. Yeah, doing paintings and stuff can definitely help you take your mind away from what's going on at that particular moment. Music. Music is another thing that we all use to relieve stress. I know there's tons of you out there that probably use music to just take your mind away. A particular album, a particular singer, a particular, song that you just love, and it just takes your mind away. Sometimes it's just sitting back and listening to that favorite album. That can do wonders. I just got a new album, Ed Sheeran. And man, that is an awesome album. I can just kick back and relax and listen to his album over and over again. I'm sure I'm going to get sick of it, but for right now, I love it. Yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you guys want to look for a nice mellow album, Ed Sheeran. So yeah, definitely music. Music will help you take your mind away. Almost like a Calgon. What was a Calgon Take Me Away bath? Sitting in the bathtub, listen to music, relaxing, or even going down by the river and just listening to the river. That's another way to help relieve the stress. But, even if it's performing. I remember I used to do my Elvis shows, and that would definitely take my mind off of things that were going on, having to do chemo, what's going to happen to me with, just things that are going through my head. But whenever it was time to do an Elvis show, that's all I focused on, was I was going to do an awesome Elvis show and not to forget the words to the song. And if I do, how am I going to play it off and flirt with the ladies while I'm doing my Elvis show? That's what I would concentrate on. Writing is another thing that we do to relieve stress. Writing a song, writing a poem, writing a blog, writing a journal of your thoughts. Start your morning off writing how you feel and what you want to do for that day, what you want to accomplish that day. Even if it's writing about the things that you're afraid of or the things that are stressing you. But write something down every morning. Writing the things that you're afraid of can be tough. That can be real tough to do. But write it down. It'll help you get your mind off of it the first thing in the morning. So that way you're not dealing with it. It's not running through your head the rest of the day. You already wrote it down. You already got it off your chest. Write down, what you think about your cancer. Am I going to die? Am I going to live? What is my doctor going to say? Do I do chemo? Do I do radiation? Do I do both? What am I going to look like with no hair? Will I even lose my hair? What do I tell my kids? What do I tell my family? All these things run through your head whenever you're blessed with this thing called cancer, right? But writing it down can help you get it off your chest first thing in the morning, man. Just one less thing to be thinking about during the day that will make your mind not run around in circles over and over and over again, these thoughts that you already wrote down that morning and you already dealt with that morning. And of course, another good thing to do to help you to relieve your stress is exercise. Exercise can be a big stress reliever and good for you. So be it walking the dog or walking around the block or hitting the gym, exercise will benefit you in so many ways, mentally and physically. Now, I know that some of you that are doing the chemo or the radiation, it's hard to get up and go exercise. But at least get up and do something. Like I said, get up, build a model. Or get up and work on some seashell art. Or get up and write a blog. Or write in your journal. Anything. Get up and exercise. Walk the block if you can. Another way to relieve stress can be relaxation therapies such as yoga, massage therapies, and meditation may also help to alleviate certain symptoms of cancer and relieve side effects of treatments. Deep breathing outside, just some deep breathing outside with just the sound of the wind before you start your day can help in so many ways. Now, I personally don't do yoga, massage, or even meditation, but I've heard it does wonders. The point I'm trying to make, my friends, is that cancer loves stress. Cancer loves sugar, don't get me wrong, but cancer also loves it when you're stressed, because that stress puts your body into distress, and that's when the cancer can attack, right? So you want to alleviate whatever kind of stress that is adding to what you're already stressing about, because once you start stressing, and once your mind continues to stress and you don't find a way to relieve that stress, you start to go into a dark place. You start to become depressed. And I know there are so many of you out there, like myself, who have become depressed with the situation you are regarding your cancer and what to do and what's going to happen with your life. And the doctors can give you different medications for depression, Zoloft for depression, Valium, Xanax, all that kind of stuff, which, is good at first. It helps at first. But then after a while, you depend on it. Then after a while, they need to take more. And then you take more. And guess what? You start stressing again. And you eventually end up staying in a depressed state. How do I know this? Because I was there. I was in a dark spot when I became really depressed. I even had thoughts of suicide, and that was about the time I said, pump the brakes. What are you thinking? You already have this issue going on. You got your family to think about. Now all of a sudden you're thinking about this. Let's just stop with this nonsense, and let's figure out what we got to do. And that's exactly what I did. I figured out what I had to do. Of course, for myself, it was extreme because I said, okay, what do I got to do? All right, I'm getting divorced and I'm moving out of the state. You kids with me? Let's go. But I don't suggest you go about it that way. But yeah, you figure out what you need to do. You figure out what's causing the excess stress and you take care of it before you become really depressed and before you start thinking those bad thoughts and in that dark spot. I know some people, even your friends and your family, they try to help. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all of you out there, all of the family and friends and stuff that are there to support you. I'm not trying to say that they do it in a bad way, but there are some that do end up pushing you away because you have this thing called cancer. And there's nothing even worse than trying to stay positive and trying to be positive about your situation and having people go, "You don't look like you have cancer. You don't look like you're sick. Are you really sick?" That's the worst. I don't look like I have cancer, but I definitely know I feel it every day. I go to the gym, I work out, I try to eat healthy. I'm a big guy. I don't look like I have cancer. But guess what? I hurt on a daily. I have fatigue on a daily. And yeah, I have cancer. I got a email from a Kevin Feeney. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right there, Kevin. If I'm not, then I do apologize about that. Anyways, Kevin writes me, and he says, one of the most depressing aspects of dealing with cancer is the initial state of denial that others belabor your diagnosis with. For example, when you tell someone, the initial response is typically, "Well, there are new cures coming out every day," and other words of denial on their part. Then they offer you any help that they can give, and then they shun you like you have a communicable disease. Since I have to deal with this reality on a daily basis, I really don't have any energy to deal with the ignorance of others. This part here is the best part, he says. He says, the best response I've ever had was from a Tibetan Lama who looked at me and said, "You are really lucky. You know that you will die. Look around at all these others. None of them know that about themselves." That is very true. That is very true, Mr. Tibetan Lama man. I want to thank you, Kevin, for sending me that email and sharing with us that little story. Kevin also has leukemia. He has CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. He sent me information on a study done 2 years ago by the Mayo Clinic, stating that green tea extract in the 0 to 1 stages of CLL blocks the nerve cells that feed the B cells of CLL. He states he's been using about 1,000 milligrams of EGCG every day, and his white blood cell count has not gone over 20. So green tea extract, they're saying, helps patients with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, CLL, which is what I have. And I'm going to look into that, Kevin, and I'm going to probably try doing some green tea extract. Can't hurt, right? So thank you again, Kevin, for sending me that email. I definitely appreciate both of them. And guess what I'm trying to tell you, my friends, is that I am no Tibetan Lama. You know what I mean? I do not have any words of wisdom. I'm just a guy with cancer trying to give you the best advice that I can. And on today's show, my advice is that you find something to do with your stress. You know what I mean? You find something to do before your stress gets overwhelming. You know what I mean? And then you have to go to the doctor and you get pills, and then you get more pills, and then you get more pills, and then you end up depressed, and then you get pills for being depressed. And it's just a vicious cycle. And you need to get over it. You need to get off of it. You need to get out of it, out from under it. And I know it's hard. I know a lot of you that are dealing with cancer or chronic illness. It is hard. It is hard not to be stressing about what's going on with your body, what's going on with you, what's going to happen to your family, all that stuff that just rolls through your head. But you have to find something to do, something to take your mind off of it. Maybe it's starting a podcast, like my silly podcast. And I still don't know what I'm doing. I am so surprised that this is show 6, and I am getting so much good feedback, I should say, from a lot of you about the podcast, and I want to thank you guys for that. So far, there's been no negative feedback, which, I'm kind of wondering when I'm going to get my first negative feedback. I'm waiting for it, kind of wishing it would hurry up and come and get it over with. But I am not going to stress about any kind of negative feedback. I'm glad with any kind of feedback. So, with that said, I want to thank you guys for letting me ramble on and talk to you today about how I deal with stress and what I do for stress. And hopefully it will help you guys. Hopefully, like I said, I'm no Tibetan Lama, but I do try to help when I can. I want you guys to remember that we have that Light the Night Walk November 7th. Please donate. Go to my website, laughingwithcancerpodcast.com, and click on the link there to donate to the team, Laughing with Cancer team. It's for a good cause. Let's help find cures for leukemia and lymphoma, and also the rock race on November 15th. If you're here in Phoenix, come join us. Let's go on that 5K. I'm gonna try to do it. I've never done any kind of 5K race or Tough Mudder or anything like that, obstacle racing, or a race where people are throwing things at you, trying to knock you down. It seems a little bit crazy, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be fun, and it's for the whole family, and everybody can enjoy that. So definitely November 15th, if you can, there's a rock race here in Phoenix. So please also go to my website, laughingwithcancerpodcast.com. Check it out. Leave comments. Go to my Twitter, @laughwithcancer and @Elvis Rico. Or go to my Facebook page, Laughing with Cancer. I'm on Stitcher, Laughing with Cancer. Google Laughing with Cancer, and there I am, like the wind. Like I've said, the wind everywhere. Go to podcastland.com and give me a vote. I would definitely appreciate that. So once again, my friends, thank you for joining me on Laughing with Cancer. And please find a positive outlet for your stress. Try to be happy, try to be positive, and don't let anyone bring you down. You know what I mean? With that said, I want to thank you guys once again for joining Laughing with Cancer. Peace, love, and stay laughing, my friends.
Laughing with Cancer Podcast.com